NBC 15 News at 11 starts now.
Now at 11, at least one person is dead as Tropical Storm Hermine wallops on Florida. Plus, a fire engulfs a home and garage near Stoughton. We'll take a look at the damage. And the Libertarian candidate for president makes a campaign stop right here in Wisconsin. Those stories in a moment, but first, our Labor Day weekend is off to a beautiful start. Many of us are enjoying sunny skies and some mild temperatures. So let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Charlie Shortino to find out what the rest of the weekend's going to look like. And Charlie, what are you tracking right now?
Well, the weekend forecast looks great. I don't think you could line things up much better than what we're going to see. Friday, today, 76 for the high, low humidity, fairly light winds. Saturday, 78 for the high, sunshine, low humidity, fairly light winds. Sunday, maybe a few more scattered clouds around, 80 degrees for the high. Labor Day Monday, probably the warmest of the next 4 days with an 85-degree high, but boy, look ahead into next week. The humidity will be making a return appearance, as will the heat. 87 degrees forecast high on Tuesday. So summer hanging on a week after Labor Day from the looks of things, or the week following Labor Day. But enjoy a beautiful holiday weekend forecast. Smooth sailing all 3 days during the weekend. Amy?
Charlie, thanks. Now, the weather down south, it's a much different story heading into this holiday weekend. Tropical Storm Hermine may be weaker, but winds are increasing along the southeast coast as the former Category 1 storm heads east. Flooding, rains, and tornado warnings are in effect from Georgia through North Carolina. NBC's Drake Gray is in Savannah, Georgia, with the latest.
Hurricane Hermine slammed into the Florida Panhandle overnight, bringing with it powerful winds, 80 miles an hour, gusts even stronger.
Yeah, we're going to lose a power line here.
The first storm to make landfall in Florida in 11 years, definitely leaving a mark.
Just because it's clear outside does not mean it's safe.
Wow.
Snapping trees, crushing cars and homes, and knocking power out to tens of thousands. Water pounding the coastline and surging inland, leaving behind devastation. Crews in Cedar Key are assessing the damage this morning. Cinder block walls in this dock couldn't withstand the thrashing. Hermine has dropped to tropical storm status and is heading up the east coast. Parts of Georgia and the Carolinas under a state of emergency.
We do expect tropical storm force winds between 30 and 40 miles per hour sustained.
Preparations underway in hopes of preventing excessive damage there.
Our goal is to be over-prepared and underwhelmed when it comes to this storm. We want everyone to please be safe.
And officials are warning beachgoers that dangerous rip currents are expected throughout the holiday weekend. Surfers along the coast, though, taking advantage of the changing conditions ahead of the storm. In Savannah, Georgia, Jay Gray, NBC News.
Governor Rick Scott says a homeless man died in North Florida when a tree fell on him as winds from Hermine whipped across the state. The man was reportedly sleeping in a tent when the tree came down. Fire ravaged a home in the town of Dunkirk, just south of Stoughton last night. Officials say the initial call was about a garage fire, and when they arrived, the flames had spread to the home. They spent more than an hour and a half putting out the flames. The house had significant smoke damage, and the garage was gone by the time firefighters were able to put the fire out. The Dane County Sheriff's Office says the homeowner and his 2 dogs both got out safely. An initial investigation has determined that the fire may have started from a lawnmower that had been recently used and was being stored in the garage. 2 nuns who devoted their lives to helping the needy are being remembered in funerals a week after they were stabbed to death in their home in Mississippi. Sister Margaret Held's funeral is being held in Milwaukee today. The funeral for Sister Paula Merrill is being held in Kentucky. Held was a member of the School Sisters of St. Francis in Milwaukee. Merrill was with Sisters of Charity of Nazareth in Kentucky. Both were 68 years old. There's still no word on what caused that house explosion in Fitchburg, but city administrators are doing their best to answer everyone's questions. At a public meeting last night, neighbors have been asked to turn over any debris that they may have picked up, including personal items, as investigators are still trying to piece everything together. MG&E has not found any gas leaks. However, they are not ruling out gas as being a contributing factor. The Libertarian candidate for president campaigned in Milwaukee this week, hoping to increase his support. Theo Keith has the details.
Fired up to be in Milwaukee, Gary Johnson says this is the craziest election ever.
And you know how crazy it is? I'm going to be the next president of the United States. That's how crazy it is.
In front of hundreds, the former New Mexico governor hammered both major party candidates on Donald Trump's signature plan.
Let's not build a fence across the border.
And he charged that Hillary Clinton was corrupt, engaging in pay-to-play while Secretary of State. Johnson would replace income and corporate taxes with a consumption tax and eliminate whole departments in the federal government. Talking with reporters, Johnson says he likes Governor Scott Walker, if not all of Walker's views on social issues.
My understanding is that he's done a really good job, that in fact he really genuinely has been about smaller government.
The room was packed even though Johnson spoke at kickoff of the Packers' final preseason game.
I feel that showing my support for a candidate that stands up for freedom and liberty is more important than watching the second and third stringers fight for jobs.
His supporters say they can't stand to vote for Clinton or Trump.
He can definitely be the third choice. I've always believed for a long time that there should be more than two choices.
Packers are playing tonight. You're here. Thank you very, very, very much. You're the best. Thank you.
That was Theo Keith reporting. Johnson is getting about 10% in national polls. He needs an average of 15% in 5 national polls, though, to get into the debate.